We're in Dallas. It's UFC 211. Go check out fiercesupply.com. Look, it's my buddy.
Hey,
Kelvin Gastelum.
Mr. Robin Black.
Happening?
Cheers.
Last time I saw you, we were watching Cub Swanson versus Du Ho Choi together.
Right.
That was a pretty badass
That
fight.
was a great moment because I was sitting right next to Robin Black watching one of my favorite fighters, Cub Swanson. I know he's one of your favorite fighters.
Yeah, he is.
I had a good time, man.
Yeah, man. And that night, like, shit. Look how good you look. And since then, like, you know, at 185 pounds, those are big dudes you're fighting. Like that was a...
That night in Toronto, I looked across the cage from Tim Kennedy, man. Oh my God.
Yeah. That's a big
I was like, fuck, that's a big guy.
And that did go through your mind,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You see him,
I was standing across the cage from him, and I was like, fuck, this is a big guy.
It's a big dude.
Yeah. But, you know.
Yeah, but look what you did to him. Look what you did to that cat. Best way to deal with a guy like that is don't let him really touch you a lot. And you're getting good at that. Like the way you're managing that space between his weapons and your targets, that's just been something you've been getting better and better at.
Yeah, and it just comes from Rafael Cordero, you know, working with him and working with all the monsters there at King's MMA.
Yeah.
My timing is getting better. I know you talk a lot about
distance.
Fighters now are able to learn more about the distance control.
Yeah.
And that's something I've been noticing about myself is I'm getting better at it.
You're seeing a lot of these things where it's almost like once upon a time you saw like an ape stick a stick down the anthole and then eat the ants, and then all the other apes could kind of figure it out.
Sure.
Fighting happens like that.
Yeah.
Right? All of a sudden you see other men doing things, and then you do it and other ones watch you, and that raises the whole level of people's ability to do that.
For sure.
You know? But I kind of look at it now where it's getting to the point where it's like a guy like you and what you're doing in a fight like that, you're incredibly aware of where your feet are, the relationship to your body, your weapons, your targets, his weapons, his targets, and how those things all relate.
Yes, and it's taken me a while to learn all these things, all these variables that go into the fight. I mean, there's just so much. There's just so much, and I've been learning and getting better at it. And you know, this next fight, hopefully this next fight when it gets announced, you guys will see a better version of that. Yeah, because I've been able to not only build off of that, but get better off of that.
I'm hearing rumors. I'm not going to throw it out there. I don't want to get you in trouble, but I'm hearing rumors of like high-end 185-pound dudes that you're talking. Are they going to announce it tomorrow? Are they going to announce something tomorrow?
Yeah, they'll announce it tomorrow.
Announce it tomorrow, right?
I'm back, baby. I'm back.
Okay, so tomorrow, can I buy you another beer and we will sit here and discuss the fight? Okay, we shall do that. That'll be wicked.
That would be an honor for me.
Yeah, it's mine, man. Really. So now, I'm not like talk about all the news and all the little things around fighting. You know, fighting is the thing I like, and the art.
Yeah.
But
me too.
When you got in trouble for having marijuana metabolites in your blood, I right away went out and you know, I'm Canadian. We think that's something that you should be able to use for pain management, and you agree, right?
I do agree. I do agree. You know, fighters specifically go through so much pain and so much. We go through hell every single day, every single week, and you know, I need something that'll alleviate the pain, alleviate the sore muscles, and I don't want to take pills.
Yeah, opiates that you can get prescribed. That's
I don't want to take painkillers.
No,
you know, I want to go a more natural way, and that's you know, through CBDs, THC. That's the way that I'm going.
And that within. It could be a year, it could be 18 months, but it should be shorter. This is going to be changed. I think there's no doubt that's the way it'll go. It's logical, it's safe, it's healthy, it's a better alternative. This is where we're going to go.
There's just such a negative connotation when it comes to marijuana that I don't know. I hope so, but I don't know. I hope so. I really do. Because, I mean, I didn't change anything for any, for any of my fights. I did the same thing. I stopped 4 weeks out.
Which is, and logically,
you know, I didn't change anything for any of my fights, and somehow, some way, this test result came up positive.
Well, the weird thing too, it's like you're not fighting, so it's like what are we, the morality police? Like, this is not a performance enhancer.
And one of the things that got me really mad and upset was they put it out as if I was smoking the day of the fight.
Yeah, no, I know.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, I would never do that. I would never jeopardize my career, and this is something that I love, something that I cherish. I'm not going to put it in jeopardy.
For sure. The only reason I bring it up is because I very much agree, as you know, I very much agree with you on this. And but let's go back to fighting. Oh, you're almost out of beer. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk for another 5 minutes.
I'll go get him some more.
Yeah, actually, maybe Mark, do you think you'd grab... See, Mark, so I don't know if you noticed, I started a YouTube channel.
Yes, of course.
And so 10,000 subscribers as of today, which is pretty cool. Mark is my boy. What kind of beer are you having?
I'm doing orange, or not orange, Blue Moon.
Blue Moon. And Mark's been a killer.
Thank you, Mark.
Overall. But so let's talk about fighting.
Sure.
You're in the gym lately. What are the things that are exciting you as a guy growing as a martial artist? What are the things you're working on?
So, precisely that is the distance and the timing and precision.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm looking at Conor McGregor. He's the best one doing it right now.
Yeah.
Precision, timing, and distance control. Distance control for me is the biggest one.
Yeah. Where are you in connection to the threats, and where is he in relationship to your weapons?
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I'm trying to build off of and get better at is the distance control. So I love that.
Yeah, it is a pretty fascinating thing. I mean, it's obviously Stephen Thompson, very high level at it as well.
Yes.
When you look at, say, Thompson, and I think this is true of McGregor, what is kind of happening, we're learning about footwork, we're learning about timing, we're learning about techniques, but at that level you're also developing senses. So proprioception is the awareness of where you are in space connected to your own body, and you can improve that. The way that you process time itself, that's a sense that can be improved. When you see a hitter in baseball, he sees that ball very different than you and I.
I'm sure.
Why? Because he trained that. And so on some level, that's what you're actually training. You're not just changing the way you understand a move or some footwork or something. You're changing the way that you perceive the world when you fight. It's wild, right? When you think about it.
Correct. No. It is an incredible
and we're not
thing.
high right now, by the way.
I am not. I had a long flight.
Yeah, but isn't that crazy when you think about it? You're actually changing the way that your senses are able to operate while in combat.
Yeah, and you know, you feel it. Your senses are heightened.
Yeah.
Your ears, your eyes, just your proprioception. Like you said, where you're at, you're very, very aware of where you're at. And that's one of the things, like I said, I'm trying to build off of that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get better at that.
Yeah. And get better at being in the best state possible when you fight. Have you ever had a night where you fought and it just wasn't quite happening? 'Cause I haven't seen you have that night.
Tyron Woodley, when I missed the weight. When I missed weight.
Look at this. Let's Mark.
Look at Mark.
Mark has been a killer.
Mark is the man, for sure. Thank you, brother.
To Mark. To Kelvin Gastelum.
There we go.
As well. Yeah.
To Mr. Robin Black. Thank you, brother.
You know, like, when you were coming up, if somebody... It's hard to get a read on why you were winning at first. Now you're seeing you really pull away from some of your contemporaries. Like that fight in Toronto, for example. I mean, you could see you were operating on another level, and you're still so young. You got to understand what your potential is, what you could be 3 and 4 years from now, and that excites you in your training, I bet.
Yes, for sure. It excites me. The future excites me, for sure. That fight with Toronto, I have so many people that come up to me and tell me, "Man, you just destroyed Tim Kennedy. Do you know what that is?" Like, I've seen this. People tell me I've seen this guy tear everybody up at Winklejohn, at Jackson Winklejohn.
It's true.
And I'm like, man, I don't. This was not my hardest fight. I'm sorry, but this was not my hardest fight. I'm sorry.
Crazy. That's an exciting position to be in. For me, I commentate TKO and a few of these organizations. TKO's on Fight Pass, and we get a lot of young guys coming up. So it'll be like, Kevin Lee.
Yeah.
His brother Keith Lee was fighting a young kid from Canada, and they were both in their debut. One guy was 18, one guy was 19, and they were killers, fighting a spectacular high-level fight right from the get-go. And what I think about is, if you were coaching them, how you have to make them think about what they could become. Because if they're busy thinking about how good they are, they might stop improving. Do you keep your eye on what you might become?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Right now, the version I have not even showed, I think 50% of my potential, which is what excites me, because I'm still learning, and I still haven't been able to showcase my full potential.
Yeah, crazy.
Which is crazy. I still have not. You guys have not seen the best Kelvin Gastelum at all. I know that I'm still learning. I know that I'm still growing, and there's another level.
Yeah.
There's another level.
There's always another
level, and but I know my capabilities. I know I know myself. You know, I know what I can do. I know what I can't do. And I'm excited about the future.
Yeah, that's a killer place to be. So you're here to support some people or to watch the fights. You're here for the press conference as well, for your fight to be announced. What fights are you excited about?
Let me see. We got the Jorge Masvidal.
Jorge
Masvidal and Damian Maia.
That's
a great fight.
Yeah. Jorge's another one of these guys who is really understanding where he is in space.
Oh, yeah.
And he's been doing it for a long time. You know,
well, last year I accepted a fight with him.
Yes, that's right.
Right? And it was in Mexico City. But in reality, I was expecting someone to be in the top 5, be in the top 3. But nobody was offered, and Jorge Masvidal was offered, and I thought, man, this is a tough fight. He was ranked 15 or 14 at the time, and I know it's a tough fight. This was before he even beat Cowboy, and not a lot of people knew who he was. Now people are starting to recognize him, starting to know who he was, and I know I followed him since Strikeforce, and I know how tough he is. And when I took that fight with Mexico City, I did not want to take it, to be honest, because it's a lot of work on top of the elevation, on top of Mexico City having a high altitude. I was gonna have to spend a lot of money to go out there, and then on top of it, I have a great opponent in Jorge Masvidal.
And dangerous fight.
Dangerous fight. I was ranked number 5 at the time. He was ranked number 12. It was a dangerous fight. But
you accepted it.
I'm a big fan of Jorge Masvidal, which is why I'm saying all this.
Yeah, my job, you know what I do. I analyze fighting.
Yes, sir.
That's what I do. But I see a real important part of my job to make sure that I start a little bit of people seeing about some fighters they don't quite get. You mentioned Cub Swanson. I was making sure people were seeing how good this guy was for a long time.
You did a great job doing that.
Thank you. And Jorge, I really put some focus into making sure people saw. And Kelvin Gastelum's one of those guys. Kelvin Gastelum is one of my guys.
I don't know about that, but I appreciate that. Thank you, Robin. Thank you. And because it means a lot coming from you. You know, I love what you do.
Thanks, man.
I'm a big fan, man. And,
Thank you.
You know, I hate to say it, but I feel like I'm just still starting.
For sure you are. For sure. That's an incredible place. What is it you like the most about what you do now? This is what you do for a living. This is how you're going to, it's going to be your job, your vocation. It's also your passion.
For sure.
But what is it you like the most about it?
The thing I like most about it, I think, is meeting the people. Meeting people like you. Meeting people like Mr. Robin.
Shut up.
The relationships that I've built over time while I've been in the UFC, priceless, bro. Priceless. You know what I mean? And that's what I like about it more. The experiences and the people that I have met along the way. The people that have made a difference in my life. And people like you know what I mean? And that's what I like about it most. I meet incredible people with incredible minds, with incredible souls. And that's what gets me happy. That's what fills me.
Man, Kelvin, I'll let you get back to your table. Thank you for sharing a beer with me. And tomorrow, after your fight is announced, we'll sit down again?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Thank you, guys.